everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is doing great today. So let's talk tie-dye. I know this is a big trend that's going around right now, and I've seen everybody and their mom wearing their tie-dye. And I'm definitely one of those people who's into the trend, but I didn't want to buy my pieces already tie-dyed. I wanted to do it myself. I like the idea of having my own unique items, and it's way more fun to do it this way than to get it bought already. So what I'm going to be showing you today is how I tie-dyed several pieces of clothing that I've purchased, including this sweatsuit. So if you want to see the result and the technique that I used, then just keep on watching. I wanted my tie-dye to be a little bit more neutral instead of the traditional, just really bright and really out there tie-dye. So that's kind of what inspired me with the pieces that I tie-dyed. Number one, this is the dye that I used. It's Rit dye, and I bought this at Target for around $3. This is really good. It comes with a lot. I definitely have a lot left over after the projects that I did. And I just think the colors are incredibly beautiful. The colors that I purchased and that I used were this one, pearl gray. I also used tan, which is the color that I used for this one, and charcoal gray. Something else that I found really helpful is these little bottles. So I think these are specifically for hair dye, but I found them very useful when it comes to the method that I use. I just think that it gets everything a little bit more precise, and you have a little bit more control over what you're doing, which is just great. I made less of a mess, which is perfect. You're also going to need dish soap. I'm not sure why, but for this dye specifically, it says that you need a little bit of dish soap, so just have that in hand. And the last thing that you're going to need is something to mix your dye in. This is what I use because I don't have like a pitcher or anything, but if you do have a pitcher that you don't need, then I would definitely use that so it can be easier to put the dye into the applicator bottles. The instructions say also to use gloves. Unfortunately, I didn't have any gloves because they're sold out everywhere, so I had to do it with my bare hands, and luckily I didn't get any dye to stain my hands. If you want a little bit more control, then you can use some rubber bands. You're gonna see that I started off using rubber bands, but eventually I kind of just took them off and stopped using them, just because I kept on doing them to see how much white space I had left over and if I really liked how it was coming out. And the last thing that I needed was a bunch of trash bags. I use that to put on the floor so that the floor doesn't get stains or anything like that. So that's everything that I used. Now let's get into the technique. Okay, so this is going to be the first thing that I'm going to work on today. I have a few different pieces and a few different sets that I'm going to be tie-dyeing today, but this is the first thing. So you need to start off with your clothes being damp or pre-washed. So I just went to the sink and I got these wet and damp. So you also need to start off with hot water. For this dye specifically, it calls for hot water. If you don't use hot water, then the color is not going to come out how you want. So hot water. And then we need some dish soap. I'm on my last bit of this. Have some rubber bands here. They're not the biggest because I wasn't able to find any. But they're gonna do the job. They're just fine. And then I have my little bottle that I'm gonna be using to just spread out the color. So you should also use gloves if you have any. Unfortunately, gloves around me and online have been sold out for weeks. I haven't been able to find any, so I'm gonna have to use my bare hands. So hopefully I don't get my hands stained too much, but I'm just gonna have to do with what I have. So I laid down some trash bags just to make sure that nothing gets dirty underneath, and let's start. So sorry, I didn't realize that I wasn't recording. So I basically just mixed the hot water in with the tie-dye, and I'm using this color. I'm using the tan color. And what I found when I was looking at when I was watching other people's videos of them doing their tie-dye and them using this brand and this color, is that it looks really dark at first, but the results come out a lot lighter and a lot paler, which is good because that's what I want. So I just mixed the hot water with the tie-dye and with a little bit of dish soap. And the method that I'm going to use is the crinkle method. I think those are the results that I'm going to like the most based off of seeing other people's videos. So that's what I'm going to do with all the sets that I have here. So you literally just take the fabric from the bottom and then start crinkling up. Then do the same for the other leg. And I'm gonna take my little rubber bands. Like I said, they are pretty small, but they're gonna get the job done. I'm gonna wrap a rubber band around each pant leg and then around the whole thing just to hold it together. So I'm keeping these pieces that I dye on top of their own individual trash bags, just so that it's easier for me to pick up and put off to the side, so that they can kind of just sit there like they're supposed to. So now I'm just gonna take the tie-dye and I'm gonna put it into these little bottles that I got off of Amazon. And then I'm just gonna start squeezing the product onto the pants. So that was one whole bottle of dye. Now what I'm gonna do before I put it off to the side is I'm gonna undo the pants just to see how saturated the pants actually got, and if there's big white spots that I might not like, that I might want to cover again. I'm just gonna do that before I put it off to the side. Okay, so good thing that I did that, because I definitely want this to be more covered up. I so far am loving how this is gonna turn out. I'm gonna do the same thing again, crinkle a little bit more. But just try to leave some more of the white out so that you can actually get that dyed. So this time I'm not going to put the rubber bands around them. I'm just gonna leave them like that just in case I miss a few other spots that I want to dye. So I'm just gonna go over it again, and here we go. This is gonna look perfect. I am so excited. So I'm just gonna wrap this up and then just put it off to the side so it can sit. So I'm just gonna wrap it around like this and put it off to the side. Next, I'm gonna be working on the top piece of this set. So I just wanted a long sleeve that I can either tie up or that I can crop. So I feel like this is gonna be really cute. I'm gonna use the crinkle method for this one as well. So this one actually looks great. This is exactly how I want this one to look. All right, so I'm just gonna wrap this up and put it off to the side. So now for this set, I'm actually gonna be using this charcoal gray color. I don't want it to be too dark like this, but I'm going to try to tone it down a little bit with the water. Also gonna be doing the crinkle method because I just love how the other one came out. I know this one's gonna be just as nice, and I love the colors. So this is why I wanted to use these colors instead of the traditional tie-dye colors, because I mean, I like tie-dye, but I don't want to make a whole set that's super bright. I wanted my full sets to be more toned down versus the traditional super loud neon tie-dye, so that's why I went with these colors. So after going through the first one, I don't think that I really want to tie this one up, because I'm going to be unwrapping it just in case I need to add some more tie-dye to the white spots. So let me just go ahead and start dyeing this one. This looks amazing. I'm really loving how all of these are turning out. I'm just going to add a little bit more color to these white spots over here just because I feel like I want a little bit more, but this is looking really good. Right now I'm just gonna work on the top for this set. I'm gonna be using the same exact color. Perfect. I love how this one came out. So I'm just gonna wrap it up and put it off to the side. Okay, so this is the last piece that I'm gonna be working on, and it's not part of any set, but there was a picture that I saw online where this girl, she had a shirt that would look just like this and it was tie-dyed, and I thought it was just the cutest thing ever, so I wanted to recreate it and do it myself. So I'm gonna be tie-dyeing this top by itself, and I'm gonna do it this pearl gray color. I think this is the most beautiful color out of all of the colors that I have, so hopefully it transfers to the shirt. So let's see how this goes. Something that I have been doing this entire process is testing out my colors on a napkin. I know it's not the same type of fabric as the clothes that I'm dyeing, but I feel like this is a good way to kind of estimate how the color is going to come out on your clothes. So this is a way that I've been testing it throughout the entire process today, and I feel like it's worked really well for me. So just like the other ones, I'm going to use crinkle method on this one too because it's my favorite method of tie-dyeing. I'm just going to wrap this one up and put it off to the side just like the rest of them. Okay, now this is the first set that I tie-dyed and I'm so happy with it. I did this one with a tan color, and as you can see, when I washed the dye out, it actually got a lot lighter and looks more like a blushy color, which is exactly what I wanted. I was able to do this by diluting the color with some more water, and you'll see the same type of result with my other pieces, but this is actually my favorite set out of them all. I'm so happy with it. This is the second set that I tie-dyed, and again, I'm super happy with how it turned out. I used the charcoal gray dye for this one, and as you can see, it definitely turned out more like a light gray or purple color versus the dark color from the bottle. If you want the color to come out darker, just use less water, but like I've said before, I wanted these sets to be a little more toned down, so I just love how this one turned out. Now this is the last piece that I tie-dyed with a lighter gray color, and I'm so upset that the camera isn't picking up the color that well. It definitely turned out a lot lighter and is a very toned down gray, but it's a beautiful pale shade that I'm really happy with and I'm so excited to wear. I mean, overall these pieces turned out great and I'm so happy with the results. So that's it. That was my whole process. I am just in love with how these pieces came out. I'm going to be wearing them all the time. Like I said, I didn't want anything that was too bright, and this is exactly what I wanted. So I'm very happy with how my project came out. So if you like how everything turned out and you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you did do this yourself, let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear all about it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.